Have you ever looked into a crowd and felt like someone was watching you? Now imagine seeing that same stranger again, years later, in another country, looking exactly the same. This is the story of the mystery man, a figure who has appeared in photographs, surveillance footage, and eyewitness accounts for decades. No one knows his name, no one knows where he came from, and no one has ever explained why he never seems to age. It all began with a series of strange reports from train stations across Europe. Witnesses described a tall man wearing a black trench coat and carrying an old leather briefcase. He never spoke. He never interacted with anyone. He simply stood there, silently observing the crowds. Security cameras captured him repeatedly, but every time authorities tried to question him, he disappeared without a trace. In one recording, officers approached him as a train passed through the station. Just a few seconds later, the platform was empty. The man had vanished. At first, investigators dismissed the sightings as coincidence, but they were about to discover something far more disturbing. Within months, identical reports began arriving from cities thousands of miles away. The same face, the same coat, the same briefcase, and that was only the beginning of the mystery. The reports quickly spread beyond Europe. Witnesses in Tokyo claimed they had seen the same silent stranger standing in the middle of a crowded intersection. Thousands of people walked around him, yet he never moved. Security footage captured him looking in the same direction for nearly an hour before disappearing without anyone noticing him leave. Days later, another sighting came from New York, then London, then Sydney. Every witness described the exact same man: dark trench coat, old leather briefcase, emotionless expression. There were no travel records, no passport entries, and no evidence that he had ever boarded a plane. As investigators gathered more photographs, they noticed something impossible. Images taken decades apart showed no difference in the man's appearance. His face hadn't aged. His hair hadn't changed. Even the wrinkles in his coat appeared exactly the same. Detectives pinned the photographs onto a wall, hoping to find a clue. Instead, they found an even bigger mystery. Every new discovery raised more questions than answers. Who was this man? How could he appear in different countries within days? And why did every piece of evidence seem to suggest that time had no effect on him? The search continued, but the truth remained just out of reach. As the investigation grew, detectives searched through forgotten archives, dusty libraries, and classified government records. They hoped to uncover a single document explaining the mysterious stranger's identity. Instead, they found something even more unsettling. Hidden inside an old case file were photographs dating back to the early 1900s. In every image, the same man stood quietly in the background. He appeared beside train stations, city streets, public celebrations, and even family photographs. No matter the year, his appearance never changed. One faded black and white photograph drew particular attention. It had been taken nearly a century earlier. As investigators enlarged the image, the mysterious man's face became clearer. He looked exactly as he did in the most recent surveillance footage. A retired historian recalled hearing similar stories throughout his career. He claimed that every generation seemed to have its own account of a silent stranger who appeared unexpectedly and vanished without explanation. Yet no official record ever identified him. Then came another disturbing discovery. Several old home videos appeared to show the same man standing silently in the background, watching from a distance. The families who recorded those films never noticed him until years later. By now, the mystery was no longer about finding one unknown man. It had become a question that no one could answer. How could the same person appear across generations without ever growing older? The deeper investigators looked, the stranger the story became. A journalist spent years tracking every reported sighting, collecting newspaper articles, police reports, and eyewitness interviews from around the world. At first, the cases seemed unrelated, but when the evidence was placed side by side, an unsettling pattern emerged. The mysterious man always appeared in public places filled with people: train stations, museums, airports, city squares, and busy streets. Yet almost no one noticed him at the time. It was only after reviewing photographs or security footage that witnesses realized he had been standing there all along. One museum security guard claimed he watched the man enter a gallery through surveillance cameras. Moments later, guards searched the building, but every exit remained locked. The stranger had vanished without leaving a trace. Online communities soon became obsessed with the mystery. Thousands of people compared old family photographs, convinced they had discovered the same silent figure in the background. Some believed he was a government agent whose identity had been erased. Others suggested he was a traveler somehow moving through time itself. Despite countless investigations, no fingerprints, DNA, or official records were ever linked to him. The more evidence appeared, the less the mystery made sense. Instead of solving the case, every new clue only deepened the legend of the man who seemed to exist everywhere and nowhere at all. As the years passed, investigators began noticing another disturbing detail. Many of the reported sightings occurred shortly before unexplained events. A witness would remember seeing the mysterious man standing nearby, only for something unusual to happen hours later. In one case, airport security cameras captured him calmly watching passengers from across the terminal. Minutes later, confusion broke out after several travelers reported seeing the same stranger in different parts of the building at the exact same time. The footage was reviewed repeatedly, but no explanation was ever found. During another investigation, police recovered an old leather briefcase believed to belong to the mysterious man. Inside were dozens of photographs from different decades. Every picture featured the same silent figure, standing in the background with the same expression and the same dark coat. What made the discovery even stranger was that none of the photographs contained dates, names, or locations. It was as if someone had deliberately erased every clue that could identify him. Some investigators believed the briefcase was an elaborate hoax. Others argued that no one could have created such convincing evidence stretching across so many years. Soon, the case became more than a search for one unknown man. It became one of the world's most puzzling unsolved mysteries, and with every new sighting, the legend only continued to grow. Today, the mystery man remains exactly that, a mystery. No confirmed identity has ever been found. No official investigation has solved the case. Every photograph, surveillance clip, and eyewitness account has only added another layer to the legend. Some researchers believe the similarities between the sightings are simply coincidences, with different people mistakenly identified as the same man. Others argue that the human mind naturally searches for familiar faces and patterns, even when none exist. But for those who claim to have seen him, the memory never fades. Imagine walking through a crowded train station, a quiet airport, or an empty street late at night. For just a brief moment, you notice a man in a black trench coat carrying an old leather briefcase. He isn't speaking, he isn't moving, he's simply watching. You look away for only a second. When you turn back, he's gone. Was he ever really there? Was it just another stranger in the crowd? Or is there truly someone who has quietly appeared throughout history, leaving behind questions that no one can answer? Perhaps the greatest mysteries are not the ones we solve, but the ones that continue to challenge everything we think we know. If you enjoyed this mystery, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe for more true mysteries, unsolved cases, and strange stories from around the world.